Focused conversation, a month of honoring Charles Foster with a Keepers of the American Dream Award in Washington, D.C. It released a report commissioned by the Houston Endowment, a great partner that's here tonight. MPI found that immigrants make up nearly 1/4 of the Houston metro population. That's almost 1.7 million people. And the population, as MPI writes, has contributed significantly to the region's strong post-pandemic economic performance and will play a significant role in shaping its future. The report captures the incredible contributions of the foreign-born population in Houston, contributions that Charles has helped to enable and still works to increase. To talk more about Charles's local impact, it's my pleasure to invite up Ann Stern, President and CEO for the Houston Endowment.
Charles Foster, where to begin? So tonight, I'm going to speak briefly about Charles and the incredible contributions that he's made over his 50-year career. When I first met Charles, he was already an icon. He had made international headlines and given them portrayed in the film Mao's Last Dancer for his role in helping famed Chinese ballet dancer Li Xuanxing stay in America, where he became a principal dancer with the Houston Ballet for over a decade. But of course, Charles's commitment to immigration in this community began well before then. As many of you know, Charles has deep Texas ties. He was born in Galveston, BOI, or born on the island, as we say here. And he grew up working alongside immigrant farm workers in McAllen, Texas. Connection. From a young age, he learned from and he grew to deeply appreciate other cultures and had an early fascination with international politics. These are the experiences that shaped his path and eventually led him to start his own law firm, his immigration law firm, in 1973. How lucky are we that he chose Houston. From there, he built an incredible cultures and people. I think it is no stretch to say that Charles put immigration law on the map. Houston has greatly benefited from the knowledge, care, and commitment that Charles brings to this work. And I think it's really notable how he has consistently reached across the aisle to advocate for sound immigration policy reform in a humane and common sense way, earning the loyalty and respect of people from all walks of life. And his experiences and education have given him a unique perspective on the U.S.-Mexico border issues, and that has enhanced his work supporting immigrants across Texas. At Houston Endowment, and I think Charles would agree with this, we believe that Houston's greatest asset is our diversity. We are the city, as Jenny said, where 1 in 4 is foreign-born. Nearly half of all children here in Houston have at least one immigrant parent. We're immersed in a culture of flavors, customs, artistic expressions, all of which add to the vibrancy and the uniqueness of this wonderful city. And the demographics of Houston, by the way, are the demographics of the future of the country. So what happens here really matters. Our mission at Houston Endowment is to ensure that everyone in our community has the opportunity to thrive. We believe our region is strongest when our newest residents are integrated into our community, and we know this work has meaning far beyond the borders of our city. We also know that to fulfill such a mission, it takes tolerance, it takes inclusion, it takes tenacity, and it takes partnership and deep commitment. And all of these things, Charles Foster, you personify. Charles's contributions to our country and to our city are extensive. In Houston alone, his influence and leadership have guided Asia Society Texas, our host here today, thank you so much, Fauna, Houston Ballet, the Hobby Center for Public Policy, the Greater Houston Partnership, the Holocaust Museum Houston, just to name a few. And not to mention, he serves as chairman of Interfaith Ministries of Houston for Greater Houston, where he and Lily, his wife, have been honored for their work supporting refugee resettlement and interfaith relations for many years. Okay, there's not enough time to run down all the acronyms, so please, and I know future, make our community better and stronger, for all you do, for all the work you do for Houston, for the community more broadly. We all thank you.
And then we'll give you the mic, Charles. Thank you so much.
To a great man comes great honors. It is my privilege to stand here on behalf of Congressman Al Green to present this certificate to you. He was called away just this morning on another immigration issue of importance that needs to be dealt with. So those of you who know, immigration reform is near and dear to his heart. That's why I'm here to present this certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Charles Foster in honor of service to the community. On behalf of the constituents of the 9th Congressional District of Texas, I salute your dedication to advocating for the value of immigration in our great nation. Presented November 16th, 2023, Al Green, Member of Congress.
Open bar. We'll bring out a good crowd. I want to thank Jenny Murray and the National Immigration Forum, with which I've had the pleasure of working since its inception in 1982 with other great leaders of that forum. They do, as we say, the large work, very focused on bringing about meaningful, comprehensive immigration reform, and when that's not possible, individual one-off bills such as you heard described tonight. So it's a great honor to accept this. When she sent me an email asking me if I would, I just thought it would be something pretty routine. I didn't think much of it, but this is very special. I see Larry, Emily, and Christian's here. I've enjoyed working with them, their support. I had an idea about how we could focus on trying to really get something passed through Congress, which I believe would require us to do something effectively on the border so we could have a humane, fair asylum process. And so when I reached out and developed ideas, it was the National Immigration Forum that was receptive. I worked with, and I want to thank them for being my partner in this. And I hopefully we'll be able to bring about some meaningful change that will allow us to get to some of the bigger issues that you heard described tonight. Tony Gonzalez's HIRE Act, the DREAM Acts, and so forth. Since I've got the microphone, I want to take the opportunity to thank a few people that have showed up here tonight and that have played some role, some part of my journey that you've heard described tonight. I want to start off with Ambassador Eduardo Aguirre. Ambassador Aguirre is not only he has the distinction of being named by President George W. Bush as the first Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. And so I appreciate that. We work together on the partnership. It's already been mentioned, the Greater Houston Partnership here in Houston, the leading business chamber in Texas. I may make a little correction later on, has played a significant role. Under the leadership of Bob Harvey, and Bob is here somewhere. Right there. The partnership continues to recognizing the importance of our immigrant communities and always being ready to support good immigration legislation when it's teed up. And not only is Bob here, but his successor, Steve King, who's going
right next to Bob.
Right next to Bob. Having worked with Steve on immigration issues, I know he's going to be equally supportive as well. I believe there's some representatives of the Consular Corps here. I don't know whether Lyndon Rose is still with us or not, but I want to recognize the Consular Corps. I've had the privilege of serving in the Consular Corps for many years, and they're part of this great international city with 94 foreign countries represented. I could not have done this, of course, without practicing law. I like to say that I've been fortunate in being in the intersection of immigration law, immigration policy, and politics. And I mention politics intentionally because, as they say in Texas, no one's wife or horse is safe when the legislature question. When it comes to immigration, you saw two great congressmen. They can do good stuff, but unfortunately they can do a lot of mischief. And I always recognize that, so I've tried to stay involved in politics as well. Let's see, talking about my law practice, I want to recognize Harry Tyndall, who started with me when we first started our firm in 1973. It was Harry Tyndall who actually encouraged me. It was sort of, it's hard to believe, had a full-time practice of immigration. He encouraged me to do that. He also encouraged me to the concept of establishing board certification in the field of immigration and nationality. I've been blessed to have practiced in my law firm for more than 50 years, Foster LLP. I have a good turnout of partners here, Joe Pettis, who every day I learn something from. And all my partners, most of them are from some other country. Joe's originally from Cuba, Oksana Boland from Russia, Ling Dunn from Vietnam, and so forth. We also have my partner, Evelyn Langmeyer. And I always brag on Evelyn because she also had immigration in her DNA. Her father was appointed by President Jimmy Carter to be the first Hispanic commissioner of the U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Service, the legacy organization for CIS. Talking about my law firm, I've benefited from a lot of assistance. But Julie Richardson was my executive assistant for about, 25, 30 years or so. She had the most of it. I have a lot of good friends here that I've worked with. I want to single out just a few of them in the area of immigration. Michael Trevino, I worked with him back on the 86 Act when he was with LULAC. He also used to be down for that as well. But I had the privilege of serving as chairman for much of that time we were developing this building. But before I forget anybody, one other person I mentioned Ambassador Aguirre. I'm impressed with anyone that can be an ambassador, but we also had Ambassador Chase Undermeyer. Chase is a longtime friend.